So yesterday, precipitation, we talked about my favorite part of the water cycle. And a lot of people don't like rain and they don't like snow, and it's actually not so bad, you know. It's if you have the right clothing, it's not so bad at all. And since winter is my favorite season of the year, like I told you last week, snow is definitely my favorite type of precipitation. Just to look at it, to be in it, to make stuff with it. Just looking out the window at the snow makes me feel great. But anyhow, that's my opinion. So today we're going to get focused more on the water cycle and all the parts, and the other part that we didn't talk about, and we're not going to talk about. It's called accumulation. Okay, to accumulate something, it means that you're taking things. Okay, you might accumulate. I've accumulated lots of family memories DVDs because my family has these old tapes and they put them together and they say, "Hey, you want another one? Yeah, you want another one?" And I'm accumulating. I'm taking them all. I've accumulated a lot of baseball cards. I collected them my whole life, so I've accumulated them. Well, accumulation with the water cycle is what happens after everything comes down, all that precipitation, the water, the rain, the snow, the hail, the drizzle, the sleet. I gave you all the terms this week about types of precipitation. But then where does that water go? What happens to it? Okay, so the water, it goes down wherever it's going to go. It's going to go into a hole. It's going to go on top of grass. It's going to go on the street. It's going to go everywhere. All right. Now, there's lots of moving water in the water cycle, but accumulation is all the water at the bottom. You know, when it rains down and it just lands back down. Does it land back in the river? Does it land back in the lake? Does it land in the ocean? Well, sure, it lands in all different parts, but it's giving the water back to the earth. Thus, the end of the water cycle, okay? Because the water goes up into the clouds, it precipitates down and accumulates at the bottom, or gathers at the bottom or the earth, okay? So first we have that evaporation. The water, liquids turn into gas, water vapor, and then the water vapor fills up the cloud, and then the cloud precipitation comes down from the cloud when it fills up with too much of the water droplets. And then it goes down and accumulates. And then it stops. I'm only kidding. The water cycle never stops. If it hasn't stopped since the dinosaurs and we're drinking the same water that's been recycled, then it's not going to stop today or tomorrow. Okay, the water cycle just keeps going and going and continues and continues. Okay, it goes up, it goes down. And the definition of the water cycle, the best describing way for the water cycle is how water travels from the earth to the clouds and back down to the earth. Okay, and that's a really important idea. It's the way that the water moves from the clouds to the earth and back down to the clouds again. The picture shows the water cycle. So I put a lot of pictures up about this water cycle, and you can see it will keep happening over and over, and it's not going to stop, okay? Will it not rain for a long time sometimes? Yeah, there's a word for that. We're going to talk about it next week. Will it not snow for a while sometimes? Yeah. You know, that happens. But it's going to snow eventually, or it's going to rain eventually, because that's what happens in the water cycle. It has to. Okay? The water goes up, and it comes back down in the clouds. Okay? That is the water cycle. So we have evaporation, liquid puddle of water, evaporates into water vapor, a gas. That gas keeps filling up this thing called the cloud, and that water vapor cools down. It condenses. It's called condensation, okay? When it starts cooling down and it's in the cloud. Then when that cloud is filled up to water, it can't hold the water anymore. It's too much. it starts coming down from the cloud. But it depends. It could be rain. It's hot outside, it's gonna be rain. If it's freezing cold outside, it could be freezing rain, or it could be snow or hail. Hail could be balls of snow that are bigger than a golf ball. Okay, that's like rocks of snow, of ice. It's not a very safe type of weather to be outside. I remember when I was younger and I was in my 20s, I had pulled over my car, and the hail rocks, the hail balls, kept hitting my windshield until my windshield cracked a little bit. So it's something where you want to be inside to be safe. You definitely don't want to get hit in the head with an ice rock. So hail is not something that happens every day. So I don't want anybody to worry about this. But it is a type of precipitation where it's a ball of snow, and it comes down from the sky. So there's another one called sleet. Sleet is a freezing rain. It's not fun to play in. It's just a freezing cold rain that nobody really likes. It's wet, and it's not fluffy. It's hard, and it's just really cold to be in. And the last I'll talk about today, last type, is that drizzle. Okay? Drizzle is like, oh, it's only drizzling out. We can just still go play. Or drizzling is like just barely raining. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay? So we have evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and then it gathers or it accumulates at the bottom to form puddles of water. And then we're going to use that. That's going to go into our water system. We'll be able to use that. I hope you enjoyed the water cycle so far. I sure have, because I love precipitation. And if you're watching the weather and you hear there's going to be precipitation or there's not going to be precipitation, that means it's going to be dry or it's going to be wet. If it's going to be precipitation, well, think about a raincoat. Think about an umbrella. If it says no precipitation, then you don't have to worry about getting wet. Then you just might want to think about the temperature and whether you wear a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, okay? All right, everybody, have a great day. The water cycle, it never stops. It just keeps on going. You don't have to take my word for it. Does the water cycle ever stop? No, never.